It is Princess Cays today. Princess Cays, however you want to say it. But yeah, so the interesting thing about this port is that you actually have to take a tender boat over there. So you go down to the gangway, and then from there you get on a small little like shuttle boat, and that takes you over to the island. That's part of the fun, in my opinion. This used to be the case at Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay and probably Disney's Castaway Cay as well. But they've built actual, piers to dock to, whereas this one we have to drop anchor and get in a little tender to go over there. So we'll see what that's like soon. I've been here before, but this and Catalina are the only two ports I've ever had to tender to, and I actually kind of like small ship, ferry type ships, so I'm looking forward to that part of it. And then, of course, I'm going to spend some time on the beach, so it should be a good day. It is just after 10, and I'm going to meet up with Trey, and we're going to go, hang out on the beach. So, yeah, stay tuned, and we'll talk soon.
So we made our way down to the gangway and boarded the tender. We actually picked a good time to go because there weren't a whole lot of people trying to get on the tender boat at that point, and we were one of the first people on it, which has its pros and cons. If you're one of the first people on it, you have to wait for it to fill up before it leaves, but obviously you don't have to fight for a seat or anything. And we ended up sitting with two of our table mates. Just by sheer coincidence, we all came to the gangway at the same time. Princess Cays is not my favorite private island, but the water there is really blue, and it's so tropical and nice there. I just feel like that island could use some improvements overall. I'm also not a fan of the fact that the drink package doesn't transfer out to the island like on other cruise lines. In my opinion, that's a huge misstep from Carnival, but obviously this island is also used by Princess Cruises and stuff too, so it's not easy to make it compatible in that sense. The tender pulled in, and there were a couple of other boats in the little harbor area, and then we got off and walked around and were greeted by the Welcome to Princess Cays sign. One thing that we decided to do was go to the right, which is not an area of the beach that I'd ever been to before. You have to actually leave the complex and go through this sort of like back shopping district area. If you're ever in Princess Cays and you're looking for more local stuff, that's the place to go. There is an ID checkpoint through there, which is kind of interesting, but the island is, I guess, accessible to the locals as well, so that's why they need to maintain that sort of security. We circled around to the beach, and it was smart of us to go this way because there weren't nearly as many people over there, and we easily found two comfortable loungers, and Trey went out and put his feet in the water and reported that it was pretty darn cold. I remember the last time I was at Princess Cays with my sister Heather, we found the water pretty chilly as well, but we actually ended up swimming quite a bit and even did a little bit of snorkeling. Unfortunately, the buffet grill area on our side wasn't open, so we had to walk back over to the main part of Princess Cays to eat. The food was what it was last time I was there, and that's not a compliment. I did find enough to eat, but only just barely.
Alright, y'all, so Princess Cays, we've hung out so far, got some sun. We just finished eating. The food is about as good as I remember it being, and by that I mean it was pretty awful. But we're gonna go grab a drink or two at the bar and then get back on board. So far so good. Very nice day today. The weather's fantastic, and water's pretty cold, but I mean that's to be expected, right? But anyway, we'll talk soon.
From there, I walked around the main part of the beach and got some footage of the different areas. You can see that this area has a lot more loungers, but it also has a lot more people. If you're looking for fun and games and all the kind of heart of it all activities, this is where you want to be. There's also a snorkeling area over here, and you can rent equipment to do snorkeling, and I think they have pedal boats and stuff as well. Trey and I made our way over to the bar, and we actually met Andrea there, the bartender from Alchemy, but unfortunately, her and Jose were leaving to head back to the ship, so by the time we ordered a drink, it was a different bartender, which was fine. And I grabbed a Corona because the prices of the drinks on the island are actually quite expensive. Even the beer is more expensive than it is on the ship, which kind of surprised me, but whatever. And Trey got one of the fun frozen cocktails, which are definitely pricey, but they do come with a free souvenir cup. And I believe if you want a refill, it's actually cheaper than the initial purchase. After our one round of drinks, we decided it was time to head back to the ship, so we made it through security and back onto the tender, which left pretty much right away, and before we knew it, we were pulling up to the ship again. And then I made my way from the gangway up the stairs all the way to my room, and it was still pretty early, but at this point I was definitely wanting a drink.
Alright, so I'm back from Princess Cays today, and I got an effluent. This one's always my favorite. Should I do an effluent noise? That was really sad. But anyway, tail animal every day so far. My other one, which was also in the window, is gone again, but that's okay. Anyway, We'll talk soon.
So I put my elephant up in the window, where all of my towel animals had a home at least at one point during the week, and then I went up to the Lido deck because I was actually still hungry and I wanted some tacos, which were really good, but I was a little heavy-handed with the salsa, and so just be aware that some of those salsas are really quite spicy. And then I made my way back to the Serenity area because that's one of the nicest areas on the ship in my opinion, and it has these great aft views and some really comfortable loungers, and it is adult only. And then after hanging out in there and getting some footage and stuff, I made my way back to the main pool deck over to the tequila bar, and I had a margarita. The bartender there kind of started to get to know me, and so he knew that I either wanted a beer or a Patron margarita or an old-fashioned depending on the time of day. And at one point he poured the guy next to me a tequila shot, and I thought that the shot glasses were just so cute, but he misinterpreted that as me wanting a tequila shot, so I did a shot of tequila.
Alright, you all, so I am here on sort of the Lido, well, I'm one above Lido, but, you know, in the Lido area, and, it's a little bit loud, so bear with me. I literally, all the other places I went to were, like, super windy, so. But anyway, the bartender made me this blue drink, because I didn't know what I wanted. It's alright. I'm not a fan of, you know, Curacao, which is obviously what it has in it. It's making my mouth blue, also. But anyway, I'm about to go down to dinner. That's why I wanted to check in with you all. And say cheers and whatever. We have one last sea day tomorrow, and then we'll be back in Jacksonville. And then it's gonna be like a whole month until my next cruise. Isn't that crazy? No, I say that jokingly because I had so many back-to-back last year that that the fact that there's several weeks in between each sailing this year is different, but probably better because it gives me something to look forward to, something to anticipate, right? I did experience a little bit of burnout the end of last year, and I hope that doesn't happen ever again because I've never been on a cruise ship and have wanted to be home, you know? So, anyway, sorry, shadows and lighting, this is just not the place to be doing this, but it's all good. Anyway, we'll talk soon.
I didn't end up finishing the blue drink, I went to Alchemy instead. I definitely appreciated getting made a custom drink like that, but I'm not really a fan of blue mystery drinks. So I had Andrea make me an old-fashioned, and then I made my way down to the dining room for dinner. After that was the Punchliner comedy show, which of course you're not allowed to record. And then from there I went up to Alchemy and had a couple of drinks, and then my friends Blake and Zane convinced me that it was a good idea to go hang out with them in the casino.
Alright, y'all, that's a wrap. Another good cruise day in the books. I actually played in the casino a little bit tonight, which is something I don't do very often, but, you know, it's fun. I lost almost immediately, so that's why I don't do it very often. But, you know, all is well that ends well. I, at this point, maybe have inserted a picture of myself with my friends Blake and Zane. Very nice guys. And it's their fault. I went to the casino. Anyway. But yeah. I've met some cool people this cruise, for sure. But I'm off to bed. I'm not even going to wrap up what's happened today because you've already seen it. But I want to thank you all so much for traveling with me. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. We'll talk soon, and y'all have a good night.